Leonardo tenía 30 años cuando se fue de este mundo. Estando lleno de vida, se le acabó en un segundo. Sus padres no se consuelan de este pesar tan profundo. Era único en su familia, no le gustó la pobreza. Sus padres le aconsejaban: no seas de mala cabeza, el que anda mal acaba, puedes tener la certeza. Estando recién casado, renegaba de su esposa. Tenía una novia muy linda en la ciudad de Reynosa, aparte de 3 heridas, por si fuera poca cosa. Sin despedirse de nadie, un día cruzó la frontera. No más Cabrera que sabe, se casó con una güera y se olvidó por completo de lo que dejó en su tierra. Tuvo suerte en los amores y de nadie estuvo engrido. Enamoró a una chicana que no quiso compartirlo. Para que no la engañara, le disparó 5 tiros. Palomas que van de norte y cruzan el río Bravo. Díganle a toda la gente que en la ciudad de Chicago ha muerto Leonardo Reyes por ser tan enamorado. He visto entre los árboles tu pelo que jugaba con el viento. De pronto se apodera un sentimiento en mi mente y eres tú. El sol te está mirando por delante y el mar te está mirando desde el sol. Te miro de repente el horizonte es tan distante como tú. Corazón, ¿qué le has hecho a mi corazón? Corazón, luna llena, canción de amor. La vida siempre así vas, tú por tu lado, yo por ti. Corazón mágico. Te miro de repente, el horizonte es tan distante como tú. Corazón, ¿qué le has hecho a mi corazón? Corazón, luna llena, canción de amor. La vida siempre ha sido así, tú por tu lado, yo por ti, corazón mágico. Leonardo tenía 30 años cuando se fue de este mundo. Estando lleno de vida, se le acabó en un segundo. Sus padres no se consuelan de este pesar tan profundo. Era único en su familia, no le gustó la pobreza. Sus padres le aconsejaban, no seas de mala cabeza, el que anda mal, mal acaba, puedes tener la certeza. Estando recién casado, renegaba de su esposa. Tenía una novia muy linda en la ciudad de Reynosa, aparte de 3 queridas, por si fuera poca cosa. Sin despedirse de nadie, un día cruzó la frontera. No más cabera que sabe, se casó con una güera y se olvidó por completo de lo que dejó en su tierra. Tuvo suerte en los amores y de nadie estuvo engrido. Enamoró a una chicana que no quiso compartirlo. Para que no la engañara, le disparó 5 tiros. Palomas que van del norte y cruzan el río Bravo. Díganle a toda la gente que en la ciudad de Chicago ha muerto Leonardo Reyes por ser tan enamorado.
Una mañana muy primorosa, como una rosa yo te soñé. Como eras blanca, ojos de diosa, y entre las flores yo te miré. En el Río Grande hay un paraíso, que es una fruta que conocí. Es un santuario de flores frías que allí quisiera ponerte a ti. Las flores lloran por tu hermosura, ni las estrellas pueden brillar. Hasta la luna pierde sus luces, por eso siempre te he de adorar. Al despertarme quise mirarte, más extraviado yo te busqué. pero yo nunca pude encontrarte porque fue un sueño lo que yo soñé.
Te extraño más que nunca y no sé qué hacer. Despierto y te recuerdo al amanecer. Me espera otro día por vivir sin ti. El espejo no miente, fue tan diferente, me haces falta tú. La gente pasa y pasa siempre tan igual. El ritmo de la vida me parece mal. Fue tan diferente cuando estabas tú. Sí que era diferente cuando estabas tú. No hay nada más difícil que vivir sin ti, sufriendo en la espera de verte llegar. El frío de mi cuerpo pregunta por ti y no sé dónde estás. Si no te hubiera sido sería tan feliz. La gente pasa y pasa siempre tan igual. El ritmo de la vida me parece mal. Fue tan diferente cuando estabas tú. Sí que era diferente cuando estabas tú. No hay nada más difícil que vivir sin ti, sufriendo en la espera de verte llegar. El frío de mi cuerpo pregunta por ti y no sé dónde estás. Si no te hubiera sido sería tan feliz. Sé que caro estoy pagando, siempre mi mala suerte me ha de ver. Que me perdone Dios que está mirando, pero cuál es mi culpa no lo sé. Ahora dime tú, ¿qué hiciste de mi vida? Ay de mí, qué caro estoy pagando por quererte, como un delito que no cometí.
Castigo fue tu amor, mi castigo ha sido tu traición, pues me fingiste. Tengo roto el corazón, voy sufriendo mi desilusión, pues me mentiste.
Castigo fue tu amor, que me fingiste. ¿tú qué hiciste? ¿Qué hiciste de mi vida? Ay de mí, qué caro estoy pagando por quererte, como un delito que no cometí. Mi castigo fue tu amor, mi castigo ha sido tu traición, pues me fingiste. Tengo roto el corazón, voy sufriendo mi desilusión, pues me mentiste. Mi castigo fue tu amor, que me fingiste. Reventó el columpio donde ella se columpiaba, ya se acabaron los gustos de la joven que yo amaba. Bienvenido el pabellón návido, donde está tu esposa Navidad, componiéndose el vestido, arreglándose el peinávido, chica del pabellón návido y el cordón de Tiruné. Yo me fui para casar, a ver a mi campamento, a ver si acaso yo puedo sacarlas de las greñas. Y venir el pabellón návido, donde está tu esposa Navidad, componiéndose el vestido, arreglándose el peinávido, la chica del pabellón návido y el cordón del Tiruné. Si quieres comer iguana yo te la voy a agarrar, si quieres comer iguana yo te la voy a agarrar. En el payo de Tijuana se salen a calentar, en el payo de Tijuana se salen a calentar. Uy, 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 qué iguana tan fea, uy, 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 cómo se menea. Uy, 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 qué iguana tan loca, uy, 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 cómo abre la boca. Uy, 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 que se subió al palo, uy, 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 que ya se subió. Uy, 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 que busca su cueva, uy, uy, que ya la encontró. árbol es tu pelo que jugaba con el viento. De pronto se apodera un sentimiento en mi mente y eres tú. El sol te está mirando por delante, el mar te está mirando desde el sol. Te miro de repente el horizonte es tan distante como tú. Corazón, ¿qué le has hecho a mi corazón? Corazón, luna llena, canción de amor. La vida siempre ha sido así, tú por tu lado, yo por ti, corazón mágico. Te miro de repente, el horizonte es tan distante como tú. Corazón, ¿qué le has hecho a mi corazón? Corazón, luna llena, canción de amor. La vida siempre ha sido así, tú por tu lado, yo por ti, corazón mágico.
One, introduction, a holy week of passion and devotion. In the heart of Spain, as spring begins to bloom and church bells echo through ancient streets, one of the most powerful religious traditions in the world comes to life, Semana Santa. Known in English as Holy Week, Semana Santa is far more than a religious observance. It is a profound cultural and spiritual experience that transforms entire cities into open-air sanctuaries of faith, art, and emotion. For 7 intense days leading up to Easter Sunday, Spain's streets fill with solemn procession, haunting music, flickering candlelight, and centuries-old rituals. From the historic alleyways of Seville to the dramatic coastal landscapes of Malaga, and from Granada to Valladolid, each region expresses Holy Week in its own unique way. Yet everywhere the atmosphere is the same, deeply emotional, reverent, and unforgettable. Massive wooden floats called paso are carried through narrow streets by devoted brotherhood members. Hooded penitent walk silently for hours. Brass hands perform sorrowful marches that echo of stone buildings. Crowds gather in respectful silence as sharp image of Christ and the Virgin Mary pass by, illuminated only by candles. But Semana Santa is not only about spectacle, it is about remembrance, the passion, death, and commemoration of Jesus Christ. It's about tradition passed down through generations, and for many Spaniards, it's the most important week of the year. In this documentary, we will explore the origins, symbolism, rituals, and emotional power of Semana Santa in Spain. Why do thousands of people walk barefoot in procession? What do the pointed hoods represent? And how has this medieval tradition survived in the modern world? Welcome to a journey into one of Spain's most extraordinary and moving celebrations, Semana Santa. 2. Historical origins, roots of faith and tradition. The origins of Semana Santa in Spain date back to the late Middle Age, when the religious devotion shaped nearly every aspect of daily life. While Holy Week commemoration began across Christian Europe centuries early, it was during the 15th and 16th centuries that Spain developed its distinctive and dramatic style of public processions. During this time, Spain was a deeply Catholic kingdom, especially after the completion of the in 1492, the Catholic monarch Isabella of Castile and Ferdinand I of Aragon strengthened the influence of the Church throughout the country. Religious brotherhoods known as cofradías or hermandades began organizing public acts of penance and devotion during Holy Week. These brotherhoods played a crucial role in shaping Semana Santa as we know it today. A group was responsible for caring for sculptures and organizing annual processions. Over time, they commissioned elaborate wooden statues depicting and scenes from the Passion of Christ. These works were created by master sculptors of Spain's Golden Age, transforming religious storytelling into powerful visual art. One of the most influential periods in the development of Semana Santa came during the Counter-Reformation in the 16th century. In response to the Protestant Reformation, the Catholic Church emphasized dramatic and emotional expression of faith. Spain embraced this approach wholeheartedly. Public procession became theatrical that solemn display meant to inspire devotion, reflection, and repentance among believers. Cities such as Seville became major centers of Holy Week tradition. Seville brotherhoods grew in number and influence, establishing roots, rituals, and ceremony rules that continue today. Other cities like Valladolid developed a more austere and deeply contemplative style, focused on silence and dramatic realism in sculpture. Despite political upheavals, wars, and even restriction during the 20th century, Semana Santa endured during the Spanish Civil War. Many religious images were destroyed that communities later restored and rebuilt their shared heritage with determination. Today, Semana Santa stands not only as a religious observance, but as a living link to Spain's medieval past. Its traditions, preserved for centuries, continue to unite communities in shared memory, devotion, and identity. What began as acts of the penance organized by small religious groups has grown into one of the most iconic and emotionally powerful cultural events in the world. 3. Symbols and rituals, the language of love. To truly understand Semana Santa, one must look beyond the spectacle and explore the powerful symbols and rituals that define this Czech week. At the heart of every procession are the pasos, massive wooden floats carrying detailed sculptures that depict scenes from the Passion of Christ. These Czech images often portray Jesus carrying their cross, their crucifixion, or the sorrowful Virgin Mary. Many of these statues are centuries old and are considered priceless work of religious art. In cities like Seville and Granada, the arrival of a beloved image that can move crowds to tears. Carrying these heavy floats are the constellars, men and increasingly women, who work beneath the structure, hidden from view, with synchronized step and immense physical endurance. They carry weights that can exceed 1 ton. Their slow, rhythmic movements symbolize humanity and sacrifice. Working alongside the floats are the narrators, penitents, dressed in the long robes and tall-pointed hoods called capiros. To outsiders, and the hood may appear mysterious, but their meaning is deeply spiritual. The pointed shape represents repentance and the desire to rise toward heaven. The cover face symbolizes anonymity before God, an act of humility rather than identity. Another essential element of Semana Santa is music. Brass bands perform slow, mournful marches that echo through narrow streets. In Malaga, military bands sometimes accompany the procession, adding a dramatic intensity. In contrast, in some neighborhoods of Seville, a spontaneous and emotional flamenco style laments known as a sata is sung from balconies as the procession passes below. These raw, heartfelt songs create unforgettable moments of silence and devotion. Candles and incense also play an essential role. The sense of burning incense fills the air, symbolizing prayers rising to heaven. Thousands of candles illuminate the night processions, casting golden light over ancient buildings and creating an atmosphere both solemn and magical. A creature, its garment itself carries centuries of meaning. Semana Santa is not merely observed, it is felt. Through its symbols and rituals, faith becomes visible and tangible and profoundly moving. In Spain, Holy Week is not just remembered, it is lived. 4. Cultural and spiritual significance. For the local people, Semana Santa is more than entertainment. It represents values such as unity, renewal, gratitude, and faith. Families gather, communities reconnect, and traditions are passed down through generations. For the local people, Semana Santa is far more than a public spectacle or tourist attraction. It is a deeply personal and collective expression of faith, identity, memory, and belonging. A living expression of faith, and its core, Semana Santa commemorates the passion, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. For practicing Catholics, the week represents the most short period of the Christian calendar. Every procession, prayer, and candlelit vigil serve as a reminder of sacrifice, suffering, forgiveness, and hope. The statues carried through the street are not simply artistic masterpieces. They are shared image believed to embody spiritual presence. When a float depicting Christ carrying the cross passed by, many spectators make the sign of the cross, whisper prayers, or wipe away tears. The emotional response is immediate and sense. In cities like Seville, devotion to specific image of the Virgin Mary or Christ can be intensely personal. Families may have prayed to the same statue for generations, seeking protection, healing, or guidance. These shared figures become symbols of comfort and continuity in time of hardship. Identity and regional pride. Semana Santa also reflects strong regional identity. Each city expresses Holy Week differently. In Malaga, the celebrations are grand and dramatic, often accompanied by military participation and vibrant energy. In Valladolid, silence dominates, emphasizing introspection and solemnity. These different are not accidental, they reveal the cultural character of each region. Holy Week becomes a mirror of local history, artistic style, and community spirit. For many Spaniards, belonging to a particular brotherhood is a source of pride equal to many heritage. Membership is often passed down from parents to children. Some families have participated in the same procession for centuries. Third, Semana Santa strengthens identity, not only religious identity but cultural and communal identity as well. Unity and community bonds. Families gather, communities reconnect, and traditions are passed down through generations. During Holy Week, people return to their hometowns from across Spain and even abroad to participate in processions. Preparations begin months in advance. Neighbors collaborate to decorate balconies, release music, and organize logistics. Brotherhood members train together to carry heavy floats, forming bonds built on trust and shared purpose. The processions themselves require extraordinary coordination. Dozens or even hundreds of participants move in harmony. This cooperation reflects deeper values of unity, discipline, and mutual respect. Even spectators become part of the experience. The shared silence during a solemn procession creates a collective, emotional space. Thousands of strangers stand shoulder to shoulder, united by reverence. In this way, Semana Santa fosters social cohesion, reinforcing connection between individuals and the large community. Symbolism of suffering and hope. The spiritual symbolism of Semana Santa is profound. The slow pace of the procession represents the burden of suffering. The heavy weight of the flow symbolizes sacrifice. The darkness of night processions reflect grief and mourning. That story does not end in sorrow. As the week progresses towards Easter Sunday, the symbolism shifts bowing joyfully, white garments replace black robes. The resurrection represents renewal, transformation, and hope. This journey from suffering to the redemption resonates deeply with local people. Many see their own struggles reflected in the Passion narrative. The festival offers emotional catharsis, an opportunity to confront pain while affirming faith in renewal. Emotional intensity. The emotional importance of Semana Santa cannot be overstated. It is common to see people move to tears during a Santa sung from a balcony or when a beloved statue passes Bay. For some, Holy Week marks a time remembrance for deceased family members. For others, it is a moment of gratitude after surviving personal hardship. The slow swaying movement of a float, illuminated by candlelight, can feel almost mystical. The scent of incense, the rhythm of drums, and the weight of silence creates a sensory environment that deeply affects participants and spectators alike. In Granada, the sight of a procession passing beneath the illuminated Alhambra is sight. This emotional experience, blending spiritual devotion with historical grandeur, tradition in a modern world. Despite modernization and secularization in contemporary society, Semana Santa remains resilient. Even young generations participate actively, whether as musicians, narrators, or organizers. The festival has adapted without losing its essence. Technology may broadcast events worldwide, but the core experience remains rooted in ancient ritual and shared belief. For many Spaniards, Holy Week serves as a moral compass, a reminder of humility, compassion, sacrifice, and hope. It teaches patience through long processions, discipline through strict rules, and empathy through reflection on suffering. More than entertainment, for the local people, Semana Santa is more than entertainment. It represents unity, faith, endurance, identity, and renewal. It is a time when history feels alive, when streets become shared pathways, and when entire communities move together in solemn rhythm. Through centuries of change, political upheavals, wars, social transformation, Semana Santa has endured. It continued to connect the living with their ancestors, the individual with the community, and the present with the past. In Spain, Holy Week is not simply observed, it is believed deeply, emotionally, and collectively. 5. Main festival activities. The heart of Semana Santa. The soul of Semana Santa lies not only in its history but in the powerful living tradition that unfolds in the street each day. From solemn rituals to dramatic music and below seasonal dishes, every element plays a role in creating one of the most moving religious events in the world. Let's explore the main festival activities that define Holy Week in Spain. 1. Traditional rituals. One of the most important rituals during the festival is the grand religious procession organized by centuries of brotherhoods known as hermandad or cofradias. These brotherhoods spend their entire year preparing for this sacred week. Each procession follows a carefully structured order. At the front walks the cross bearer, followed by lines of penitents holding candles. Behind them comes the most sacred element, the pestle, a massive float carrying statues that depict scenes from the Passion of Christ. The procession moves slowly through history's streets, sometimes for over 10 hours. In Seville, some brotherhoods begin their journey at midnight and do not return to their trucks until midday the next day. The route always leads to the city's cathedral, symbolizing spiritual pilgrimage. Another powerful ritual is public penance. Some participants walk barefoot, others carry heavy wooden crosses or wear chains around their ankles. These acts are not for spectacle but expression of personal faith, gratitude, or repentance. In Valladolid, silence is itself a ritual. Entire crowds stand without speaking as the flows past. The absence of sound becomes deeply moving, though expressed not through noise but through reverence, stillness. The spiritual structure rarely changes. Every movement, pause, and prayer follow tradition preserved for centuries, reinforcing the continuity between past and present. 2. Custom and decorations. Participants wear elaborate customs that symbolize humility, devotion, and spiritual identity. The most recognizable attire is worn by the Nazarenos. They dress in long robes and tall pointed hoods called capirotes, while striking in appearance. These garments represent repentance and anonymity before God. The hood covers the face so that acts of devotion are done without personal recognition. The color of the robe varies by brotherhood: deep purple for mourning, white for purity, black for solemnity, or red symbolizing sacrifice. Each color carries symbolic meaning tied to the passion story. The costaleros who carry the heavy flows, while simpler floating hidden beneath the pestle. They use paddles, cloths to protect their necks and shoulders from the immense weight which can exceed 1,000 kilograms. The floats themselves are a masterpiece of decoration. In Granada, you may see richly embroidered velvet drapes, golden baroque carvings, and thousands of pressed flowers arranged in intricate paintings. At night, candles illuminate the statue from below, creating dramatic shadows that heighten emotional intensity. The combination of art, light, and devotion transforms the streets into shared theatrical space. Balconies along procession routes are often draped in red or purple fabric. Families decorate their home to honor the Passion image. The entire city becomes a stage of filth. 3. Music, dance, and performances. Music fills the street as traditional instruments and modern rhythm come together to create a deeply emotional atmosphere. Brass bands play slow, funeral marches that echo through narrow alleyways. Drums beat steadily, matching the synchronized step of the costaleros. The rhythm controls the pace of procession, guiding its movement. In Malaga, military bands often accompany certain processions, adding grandeur and power. The music swells dramatically as the flows emerge from church doors, greeted by applause from the crowd. One of the most unforgettable musical moments is the Santa in Seville. Single may suddenly appear on a balcony and perform his traditional flamenco-style lament. Sung a cappella, the Santa is short and deeply emotional, often bringing listeners to tears. Unlike many festivals around the world, Semana does not feature celebratory dancing during the early parts of the week. Instead, movements are solemn and deliberate. Only on Easter Sunday, there is a tone shift to joy music, celebrating resurrection and hope. The blend of silence, long marches, and spontaneous song creates a powerful emotional rhythm that defines the week. 5.4 Festival food and drinks. No festival is complete without food. Some of the most popular dishes during Semana Santa reflect both religious traditions and seasonal flavors. Because Holy Week traditionally include days of fasting and abstinence from meat. Many dishes focus on fish and simple ingredients. One of the most iconic treats is tortillas, slice of bread trapped in milk or wine, coated in egg, fried and drilled with honey or sugar, often compared to French toast. Tortillas are especially popular in Seville and across Andalusia. Another beloved dish is potage de vigilia, a hearty stew made with chickpeas, spinach, and cod. This comforting meal reflects the religious tradition of avoiding red meat during Lent. In some regions, sweet pastries like pastino, flowers with ants, nice, and honey, with fill bakery windows throughout the week. Families gather after procession to share these traditional foods, reinforcing community bonds. Cafes remain often late, serving coffee and sweets to spectators who wait hours to procession to pass. The flavors of Semana Santa are simple yet deeply rooted in history, food that nourish both body and spirit. 5. Highlight moments. The most breathtaking moment of the festival happened when a massive float slowly emerged from a church doorway into a sea of silent spectators. In Seville, this moment can take several minutes as the cortege rose carefully lower and lift the heavy structure inch by inch to clear the narrow entrance. When the float finally appears, illuminated by candlelight, the crowd often erupts in flows. In Malaga, one unforgettable highlight is the member of the Spanish Legion carried the image of Christ of Mana through the street. The combination of military precision and religious devotion creates a powerful visual spectacle. In Granada, the sight of a procession passing beneath the illuminated Alhambra place creates a breathtaking sense of history layer open history. But perhaps the most emotional highlight comes on Easter Sunday, when the somber mood of the week gives way to celebration. Bells ring joyfully, music become uplifting, and the message of resurrection fills the air. At that moment, the long journey from sorrow to hope feels complete. Semana Santa is not simply watched, it is experienced through ritual, custom, music, food, and unforgettable moments. It remains one of Spain's most profound cultural expressions. 6. Interesting facts and hidden secrets. Here are some fascinating facts you may not know about Semana Santa. For example, did you know that many participants work anonymously for years, and even their closest friends may not know they are part of a brotherhood? The pointed hood or capirote to completely cover the face to ensure humility before God. The idea is that devotion should never seek recognition. Another surprising rule is that members of certain brotherhoods must maintain strict discipline throughout the procession. In cities like Seville, if a Nazareno breaks formation, removes their hood without permission, or behaves disrespectfully, they may face internal sanctions from the Brotherhood. These organizations operate with rules that have been preserved for centuries. These are also cultural taboos during solemn processions, especially on Good Friday. Loud talking, laughing, or clapping at the wrong moment is considered highly disrespectful. In more traditional cities such as Valladolid, silence is set. The atmosphere can feel so intense that even thousands of spectators remain completely quiet as a float passes. One little-known tradition involves secret knocks. In some churches, before a float exits the building, the candelabras inside tap gently on the ceiling of the float to signal they are ready. The crowd outside may not see what is happening, but inside, coordination and trust are essential. Did you know that some floats weigh more than 3,000 kilograms in Malaga? Certain processions involve over 250 people carrying a single parcel. The physical endurance required is extraordinary. Many constelars train months in advance to prepare their shoulders and backs. These have also been unusual events throughout history. During the Spanish Civil War, 1936 to 1939, many Czech statues were destroyed. Czech communities rebuilt them with remarkable dedication. In fact, some of the most revered images today are reconstructions made after the war, symbols not only of fail but of resilience. Another fascinating detail, some brotherhoods have waiting lists that last decades, families spread their membership across generations. Being part of a particular brotherhood is often a matter of deep family pride. And here's something visitors rarely notice: the timing of movements. When a float sways gently from side to side, it is intentional. This movement, called Mercer, symbolizes life and emotion. The statues appear almost alive as they glide through the streets. Semana Santa is filled with layers of meaning hidden beneath ropes, music, and candlelight. Beyond that, the eye can see lies a complex world of tradition, discipline, symbolism, and devotion, secrets reserved for hundreds of years. The more you learn, the more extraordinary this Holy Week becomes. 7. Impact on tourism and economy. Every year, Semana Santa attracts well over 1 million visitors across Spain, with some estimates suggesting that several million people attend events nationwide throughout Holy Week. In major cities, hotel occupancy often reaches nearly 100%, and accommodations are booked months in advance. In Seville alone, hundreds of thousands of tourists arrive during their week, making it one of the city's most economically significant periods of the year. Restaurants operate at full capacity, guided tours increase dramatically, and local shops see a surge in sales of religious items, souvenirs, traditional clothing, and seasonal sweets. The economic impact extends far beyond hospitality. Brotherhoods invest sustainable resources into maintaining floats, restoring sculptures, tailoring ropes, arranging flowers, and organizing music. Local artisans whose crafts, goldsmiths, embroider, candle maker, and musician depend on Holy Week as a vital source of annual income. Some workshops specialize exclusively in Semana Santa craftsmanship, preserving traditional skills that have existed for centuries. In Malaga, Holy Week is considered one of the most important tourism drivers of the year. The city experienced a dramatic increase in international visitors, particularly from Europe and Latin America. Cruise ships often schedule stops to coincide with the celebrations, bringing additional economic activity to the port and surrounding businesses. Similarly, Granada benefits from the combination of cultural tourism and its iconic history backdrop. Visitors who come for the processions often extend their stay to explore monuments, museums, and local cuisine, multiplying the economic effect. Transformation companies also experience peak demand. High-speed trains, regional buses, and domestic flights frequently operate at full capacity during Holy Week. Temporary jobs are created in hospitality, security, event management, and tourism services, providing seasonal employment opportunities. On a global level, Semana Santa strengthens Spain's cultural brand, image of candlelit procession, ornate clothes, and emotional street scenes are broadcast worldwide, reinforcing Spain's identity as a destination rich in tradition and heritage. International media coverage and social media exposure further amplifying its global influence. Visual direct revenues, the festival fosters long-term cultural tourism. Many visitors who experience Holy Week return in future years or explore other Spanish regions known for their own unique celebrations. Semana Santa is not only spiritual and cultural phenomenon, it is also a powerful economic engine. By blending flow as a tradition and tourism, it continues to play a major role in sustaining local economies while preserving one of Spain's most treasured traditions. H. Travel tips for visitors. If you plan to experience Semana Santa in person, here are a few tips: book accommodation early, rest, and always stay aware just crowding. Best time to go. Semana Santa takes place during the week leading up to Easter Sunday, usually in March or April, depending on the Christian calendar. The most intense and visually spectacular days are Monday, Thursday, and Good Friday. If you are seeking grandeur and large-scale processions, Seville is the most iconic destination. However, it is also the most crowded. For a powerful but slightly less overwhelming experience, Malaga offers dramatic celebration with vibrant energy. If you prefer a more solemn and contemplative atmosphere, Valladolid is known for its silence and artistic focus. Arrive at least 1 or 2 days before the main events to familiarize yourself with procession routes. Accommodation in major cities often sell out months in advance, and prices rise significantly during Holy Week. What to prepare? Spring weather in Spain can be unpredictable. Days may be warm and sunny, but evening can be cold, especially during late night processions. Bring large clothing and comfortable walking shoes, as you may stand for hours waiting for procession to pass. Because the streets become extremely crowded, travel light. A small backpack or crossbody bag is ideal. Keep valuables secure and easily accessible. It's also helpful to download procession schedule in advance. Many cities publish official routes and timetables online. Knowing where and when to position yourself can greatly enhance your experience. If you plan to attend religious services inside churches, the rest mostly avoid overly revealing clothing, especially in more traditional areas. Safety and cultural equity. Semana Santa is deeply spiritual event, not simply a tourist attraction. Respect essential during solemn moments, especially on God Friday. Maintain silence, avoid clapping unless local begin applauding first. Never cross directly in front of a procession as is considered highly disrespectful. Photography is generally permitted, but avoid using flash during nighttime processions. When inside churches, follow post rules regarding cameras. Last grass means you should always stay aware of your surroundings. Pickpocketing can occur in heavily packed areas, particularly in popular cities like Seville. Finally, embrace patience. Procession may be delayed due to weather or timing change. Rain can even cause cancellation as many flows as centuries or works of art that must be protected. Semana Santa is not just something to watch, it's something to feel. With preparation, cultural sensitivity, and an open heart. Your experience can become one of the most unforgettable journeys of faith and tradition in Spain. 9. Conclusion and call to action. Semana Santa is more than just a celebration, it is a powerful expression of culture and identity. Would you like to experience this festival one day? Let us know their comments and don't forget like, subscribe and join us as we explore more incredible festivals around the world. For centuries, his Holy Week has united communities through shared memories, shared art, music, and emotion. From the candlelit procession of Seville to the solemn silence of Valladolid, Semana Santa reveals the depth of Spain's spiritual heritage. It is a week where history walks through the streets, where faith becomes visible, and where tradition connects generations. Besides its religious meaning, Semana Santa stands as a testament to resilience, artistry, and cultural pride. It reminds us that festivals are not always celebrations, they are living stories passed down through time. Would you like to experience this unforgettable Holy Week one day? Let us know in the moments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us as we continue exploring the world's most extraordinary festival, where cultural history and humanity come alive.